What's happening, guys? Good morning. Good morning to you. It is Tuesday, December 29th, 2020. This morning, we're going to talk about goal setting for the new year. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
What's happening, guys? Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. This morning, we're going to be talking about goal setting for the new year. And man, this is a topic that I could talk on for a long, long time. Many people that are in the groups that I run have heard some of this already. But man, it is incredibly important for us to understand just the rules behind goal setting and what it actually takes to make those goals a reality. How do we do those things necessary to put ourselves in the best spot to make those goals become something that happens in our life? And there's some things that we're going to talk about. There's some actions that you need to take. Some of the process extended from what we talked about yesterday, with regard to kind of reviewing this year, and then how do you go into next year with just crystal clear intentions on exactly how you get what you want in your life. And so it couldn't be more important for you to understand this stuff. So I hope that you guys are dialed in this morning. This might be one that you want to take some notes on. These are things that I've researched over the years. That I do every single year in my own life, sometimes multiple times a year, as a result of, things happening a little bit faster. Sometimes you accomplish goals faster than, in a 12-month period. And so you have to adjust those goals. You have to change those things. I use this as an example all the time, but some of the things that are on the vision board that you see behind me, those things get changed out because things happen. You start to accomplish the things that are on there because you're looking at them every day. You commit those to your brain, and your actions that you take every single day just naturally start to line up with those things happening, right? You start to subconsciously start taking those actions that are necessary for you to be able to accomplish those things. So I want to say good morning to some folks. What's happening? Jared Bird, good morning to you. Mark Farelli, Carla, good morning. Tammy, good morning to you. David Martin, good morning. Bruce Pulver, Chris Filippelli, and my wife is on here. My wife's up there in bed watching with the little ones. So appreciate you guys being here, and happy Tuesday to you. So what is the most important thing about goal setting? And I'm going to share with you guys, there was a Steve Harvey video that I watched that talked about this, but this is actually biblical, and it is from James 4:2-3, and it is, you have not because you ask not. And I want you guys to think about that. When it comes to goal setting, much of what we are taught when we are children is to not set big enough goals. It is not to reach outside of our comfort zone because we're taught not to want to be disappointed, not to want to fail. So when you think about that, you have not because you ask not. You have to ask God, you have to ask the universe to give you exactly what it is that you want. And so you have not because you ask not is an example of exactly how that's supposed to work. You have to ask for it. How do you ask for it? The next thing that's in the Steve Harvey video is another Bible verse. It says, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Meaning, if it doesn't come on the time that you are looking for it, just keep waiting. Just keep working. Just keep pushing. Just keep asking. Just keep writing your goals down every single day. So for me, that is one of the things that I want to pass on to you guys is how do you give yourself the best chance of making your goals a reality? And it is to write them down. So spending some time figuring out how 2020 went for you, what the things that you accomplished, what are the things that you need to push forward into 2021, those things that didn't actually happen. Write those things down daily. And don't just write them down and forget about them. Write them down daily. Be very specific. Figure out what it is that you need to do every day. If you do not have actions and activity that are connected to the goals that you're setting in your life, whatever that is, those are not goals. Those are dreams. That's just a dream. If you don't have activity attached to what it takes to accomplish these goals, they are not goals. They are dreams. And that is why people fall short. If you have set goals in the past and you have not achieved those goals, everybody has been through that. I want you to ask yourself this question. How much time did you actually spend thinking about those goals before you decided that they were your goals? Did you actually take time to figure out if those goals were possible, if you had the resources and the ability to actually hit those goals, or if they were a long shot before you actually set them? Because I see a lot of people setting goals, but they don't actually take the time to figure out, how do you do it? What is the activity necessary? Do I have the right number of people on my team to make this possible? Think about that. The next thing I want you guys to think about is, do you actually commit to yourself the time necessary to make those goals reality? Meaning, for me, as I set my goals for my team, as I set my goals for the Pavement Group, for example, this year, I will go through the people on my team that are attached to those goals, and I will think about and I will actually visualize what it looks like when our company hits those goals, and what it looks like for the people on my team, down to what it means for my employees' children when we hit those goals. So I ask you this: how powerful do you think it is when I think about those children and what it looks like? I had a conversation with somebody on my team this week about their children's Christmas and how exceptional it was. And so that committed something to my brain. It committed something to me emotionally, right? That I actually think about what it looks like for them, what it looks like for that father or that mother to be able to do those things for their children. And so when you hit those periods of adversity in your year, where those things might actually kick you off course, those things, those emotional attachments to those employees, to their children, to their future, to them buying a home, to them doing the things necessary to make their lives greater. That is our mission. It is to make the lives of those people better. We just happen to pave parking lots to make that possible. I want you to think about that. When you visualize what that actually looks like and feels like, there's absolutely nothing going to stop you from achieving those goals. There are no minor details or minor periods of adversity that are going to stop you from getting what it is that you want for those children. Having a mission bigger than yourself. Maybe it's something that you give back to. Maybe it's money you want to give to your church. Maybe it's a charity that you want to be able to support with a specific amount of money. Tie that into your goals. Something bigger than yourself is necessary for you to truly be able to reach to the next level for your goals. I'm going to run through a list of things that I jotted down last week as I was preparing for something else that I was teaching. list of important things here with regard to goal setting. Your actions have to align with your goals. And I want you guys to actually think about that. Like many times when you talk about goals that you've set and not achieved, did your actions actually align with the things that you said you wanted? Did you wake up every day with the intention of dominating those things that it takes to achieve those goals? I want you to actually think about that. Did I do the things necessary every day with discipline, with consistency, that are going to deliver the goals that I want? You don't get the things that are massive goals in your life by doing the things you need to do some of the time. You do the things that are necessary all the time, every single day. And those repetitive actions, that discipline to be able to move forward consistently, doing the same things every single day. And most of the time, by the way, guys, those things are not fancy. Those are the things that nobody wants to do. But those people that do them every single day, that show up and deliver consistently for 365 days, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that's how people actually get to achieving their goals. I speak from experience because there was a period of time in my life where I would hit goals. Some of them I would miss, but I was very inconsistent and undisciplined when it came to the things that I do every day. The consistency at which I was showing up for those things that were necessary for me to really get to the next level. So your actions have to align with your goals. Number 2, you need to have quiet time in your life to be able to do this. And this is something that almost everybody I talk to doesn't do and doesn't take the time away to be able to set goals that really become real to them. If you don't have quiet time when you're setting your goals, man, you're setting goals amongst a bunch of noise, around a bunch of chaos, and you will lower the chances that you actually hit those goals significantly. If you take quiet time and you actually think and you take the time to visualize, as I just described, visualize what it's like. What does it look like for your group? What does it look like for your team? And down to whatever is important for you and whatever is important for them. You know, maybe somebody on your team wants to buy a boat. What does it look like when they take ownership of that boat? What does it look like when they get the new vehicle that they're looking to get? What does it look like when they get the keys to that house that they've been trying to purchase? You need quiet time to really sink these goals into reality in your mind. That's number 2. Number 3, you have to speak these goals into existence. And what I mean by that is this. You have to speak them into existence for yourself, meaning you have to write them down. You have to talk about them. You have to share these with people who are going to help hold you accountable. If you just set a goal for yourself and you don't share these goals with other people, they're not really goals because they are just something that you have wished for yourself, that you've wished for. It's not a real goal if you don't share it with somebody else and commit to it. To share it with a friend, somebody that's going to help hold you accountable to your potential, to what you're capable of doing. If you follow these steps, guys, you see how this works? Like you take the time to figure out what it takes, the activity, make sure it's possible. You take the quiet time to actually think about how much this means to you. You start to speak them into existence and share them with other people. Those people will hold you accountable to achieving these goals. You have to write them down every single day. I sit at this desk or I sit at the desk in my office and I write down the goals that I want to achieve. And I will tell you this, guys, this is one of the most amazing things that has happened in my life over the past several years. Started with writing these goals down. It has amazed me how many of these goals have come true in a shorter period of time, and goals that consciously I didn't even necessarily work towards, things that were just on my list of things that I wanted to get involved with. I wanted to learn more about, and those things found their way into my life as a result of writing them down every day. And so I believe, you can believe whatever you want, but I'm telling you from my experience, that subconsciously you start to commit these things to your life, and subconsciously you start taking actions that will bring these things into your life, that will bring the people necessary to achieve these goals into your life. Next thing on the list, you have to look at these goals, what it is that you're writing down, as often as possible. I'll give you an example. I have my goals. I've shared this template with a lot of people. I have my goals on the lock screen of my phone. There are 5 things on the front screen of my phone that are the biggest goals I have for every year. I had it on there since partway through 2019. I look at my phone. They say that you look at your phone somewhere between 500 and 700 times a day, which I believe. If you are looking at that lock screen and it has those goals that you've set on it, what is that going to do for your belief? What is it going to do for those times when you hit adversity and you're thinking about, man, this is bad, or man, what if this happens, or what if that happens? It is a constant reminder of, for me, how big my goals are and how small these things are that are in my way, that are temporary distractions from a massive goal. And as I read those goals, again, I've walked through what it's like when we achieve them, what it does for my people, what it does for my own family, what it does for me, for my confidence, for our family, for our business, for the future of our business. That lock screen reminds me all the time of where I'm going. It is a north compass for my life of what I actually want. And I've had everything on there, from spending more time with my wife, going out on dates, spending more time with my children, anything that I need to do that is important, that I need to have in my life, I put it on there and it starts to happen. I promise you guys, if you do this, if you follow these steps, man, these things are going to start to happen for you. An important tip here, and this is something that in corporate America, man, I really despised, and I never really realized how dangerous this was until I was outside of corporate America. But never, ever, ever change the goal once it is set. You either win or you learn. I want you to think about that and think about what it takes. What happens when you change your goal? It's waving the white flag of defeat. It's saying, I don't want to learn something. I want to feel better. I want comfort. I don't want disappointment. So I want you guys to think about that. If you fall short of your goal, there's an education that comes with that. There are lessons, massive lessons to be learned in that process of falling short. If you change the goal, 2020 is a great example. We never changed our goal. We knew exactly how difficult it would be to hit the original goal. We never changed that. We faced it dead on and said, how do we push to get as close to that original goal as we possibly could? Think about that. Don't ever change your goal. And again, last but not least, share your goals with other people. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? These are people that you trust, people that you know are going to push you, that are going to hold you accountable, and share the actions that you need to take. What are the behaviors that I need to be exhibiting for people to know I'm on the right track? What is it? Share those with people at the beginning of the year, the end of this year. So I want to run back through that list. And there's a couple things that I really want to point out here, but your actions have to align with your goals. They have to. And there's a lot of people, man, that they don't. And we've all been there, right? We've all talked about getting in better shape, but we're eating cookies and donuts. I am one of them. Make sure that your actions align with your goals. Spend quiet time setting these goals so that you can actually think about what it looks like for you, for the people around you, for your employees' children, for everybody. What does it actually look like when it happens? Speak your goals into existence to yourself, to other people, share them with other people. write those goals down, write them every morning. If you guys need a planner to use, I've got one that I designed that I'm happy to share with you guys. I've sent it out to a bunch of people. You can just print it, put it in a 3-ring binder. I can tell you how to send it to FedEx or a printing place, and they'll spiral bind it for you. But it is important for you to write these goals down. One of the most powerful things is walking back through your progress, and you do that effectively by being able to use a planner consistently. You have to look at what it is that you write down. So put your goals on the lock screen of your phone, put them somewhere you can see them, put them on your desk, put them everywhere you possibly can. Making them your desktop background is one of the things that I'm planning on doing this year. Is every time I open my computer, it's going to be right there for me to look at. Never, ever change a goal once it's set. Do not adjust the goal, man. Either win or learn. And again, last but not least, share your goals with other people. Make sure that you are committed to these at the highest level. Goals are what drive your life, guys. If you don't have them, you cannot possibly achieve them. And so when you don't have them really committed, right? You're not really committed to them because you didn't take the time to actually make them believable, make them real. Close your eyes and think about what it looks like when your employees' children walk into their brand new home. When you don't think about that, you can't possibly gain the power that comes along with it. So I want you guys to think about that. I will leave you with this. Nobody gets excited about being part of a team, being part of a company, being part of a journey that has small goals. So as we go into 2021, 2020 was a tough year for pretty much everybody I know, regardless of whether you were successful, somewhat successful, or not successful at all. It was a challenging year. That leads us to sometimes set less aggressive goals for 2021. And I would challenge you with this. The reason that I have no problems getting out of bed in the morning, the reasons that I wake up every single day on fire to live my life, is because my goals are far greater than any problem that I would ever face. And so I want you guys to think about that as you set your goals. I want you guys to really process what it looks like to set aggressive goals and how that excites other people. I had a conversation with a guy that owns a large company years ago, and he showed me, he went through literally like a week of, just trying to figure out what he was going to set his company goals for. Bigger company, probably a $20 million company. And when he came back with those goals, he basically said, that they wanted to have like a 3% increase over the previous year, which again, for a company that size, you could justify why that makes sense. And he asked me my opinion. And I said, you might as well tell your people to do the same thing as they did last year, because that's what it sounds like. And to me, that doesn't excite me, right? So if you have a bunch of people on your team who are winners, who really want to make progress, who really want to see the results of something big, of growth, I want you to really think about that for yourself and for your team and for the people around you. Setting big goals helps you stay focused. It helps you get people excited. It helps you get people pointed in the right direction. And it helps people see that the challenges that you face are minimal compared to the goals that you have to make progress as a company, as a team, as a family. Those things that come along don't seem quite as big. They don't seem like quite as big of a deal when you have the right goals. Set goals that help you be excited every single morning to go chase down what it is that you want. And it has nothing to do with, the monetary results of things. It has to do with what excites you. The money that comes along with these things is the reward. It's not the reason. Money is the byproduct of progress. Remember that. So many people set their goals strictly around financial, and that will not get you there, because that is not tied to the activities necessary. What do you actually have to do when you wake up every day? What is it going to take? Do you have to write in a planner every day? The answer is yes. If you're not writing in a planner every day, what are the chances that you are consistently behaving in alignment with the goals that you set? What is the chances that you are actually going to believe all 365 days that those goals are possible, unless you recommit to your goals every single morning? You have to read them and then rewrite them. If you are the person that writes your goals down once a year, and I'm the guy that writes his down 365 times a year, who has a better chance of achieving it? I ask you that question because this is the most important thing that you can do for 2021 from a personal standpoint for yourself, is figure out where you want to go. Figure out where you want to go and write it down to make it possible. There's so many things that have happened in my life that I'm so grateful for, that have amazed me, that happened. It all started with me following this exact process that I just lined out for you guys. And man, it is absolutely incredible what is possible in your life when you follow the right steps. And these steps are not my steps. They are steps that I've studied from other people and I've put together as something that works for me. You know, these things that I've pulled from different videos that I've watched, different podcasts, different coaching programs that I'm part of. And I'm trying to share these with you guys, hopefully to get you excited for what's possible. You got a couple days left in 2020, right, to figure out exactly where you want to go for 2021. And when you get that crystal clear vision that it takes to know exactly what you want to do in 2021, and you share that with other people and you follow all these steps, man, there is nothing that's going to stop you from achieving what it is. And God wants you to be great. You were put on this earth to not be an average person. So what is it that you're going to do to be the best version of yourself this year, to achieve a goal that maybe at some point in your life you thought wasn't possible? I've watched people around me, man, achieve things that most people would say that would be crazy to commit to. And I've watched it happen for myself. And every single one of those people has followed some or all of these steps in the process of setting those goals. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I hope that this list points you in the right direction, right? It gets that rudder in your life pointed in the right direction towards achieving these things that you might, right at this moment, you might not think is possible. But if you close your eyes and you visualize what it looks like when you achieve it, and you start to figure out the activity necessary and the resources and the people necessary to make it happen, you're going to get closer and closer and closer to making those things possible. I appreciate you guys being here this morning. I will absolutely, Jeff, post this list, and I will post the quotes, and I'll post everything that I have as far as the notes that I have for this morning. And I'll post those in the comments here this morning. I thank you guys for being here. Good morning, Mr. Callaway. That guy's a guy that he understands goal setting, man. And he spends a lot of quiet time thinking about what happens when you achieve them. And man, the things that they have accomplished, I'm so proud of those guys. And the whole entire K&L team, man, is committed to this type of process and the setting massive goals that are, you know, they get you a little nervous when you're setting them, but man, it is incredible to watch them happen. Eric Stanley, good morning to you, man. Thank you for being here. Julio, good morning. Pete, good morning to you. Bruce, good morning, man. Eddie Brown, good morning. Kim, good morning to you. Steve, Jeff Nelson, good morning, man. Mike Rosgoni, good morning. Thank you guys for being here, man. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions at all, our office at the Pavement Group is closed this week. We kind of give everybody the week between Christmas and New Year's off to spend with their families. So I have some time this week. If you guys want to talk about goal setting, man, this is one of my favorite things to help people with. So if you guys have any interest in having these conversations and sharing some of the things that you want to accomplish with somebody, and you want that person to be me, I'm here for you. So give me a shout, and I'm happy to connect with you on Zoom or some other way and talk about how we can make some of these dreams or goals of yours possible. So that's it, guys. I will see you tomorrow morning, same place, same time, 7:30 a.m. right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.